We're ready to record. Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is Tuesday, December 10th. My name is Jen Neitzel, creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am here with the one and only, the super fine, as she said herself this morning, Laura Biewer. Hi, Laura. How are you doing today?
Hi, super fantastic.
Yay. I'm so glad everybody's here. You guys, if you're able to turn your cameras on, we would love to see your smiling faces. It helps us get to know you a little better. But if you can't, no explanation is necessary. We understand that not everybody is able to turn their cameras on. If you are new to this call, welcome. We are thrilled to have you. This is one of my favorite times of the week, being able to hang out with all of you. And if you don't know how the call goes,
Oh,
here's it. Here's a quick little rundown. This is like an old-fashioned call-in radio show. Remember how you used to call in and ask the DJ to play you a special song? I'm dating myself here. Back in the 80s, right? Same thing. If you have a question for us, for Laura or myself, you all you have to do is raise your virtual hand, and you can find that right at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And that will help you get in line to have any of your notary business or practitioner questions answered. We are happy to help you with that. So while you guys are getting your hands up and getting in line to get those questions answered, I want to spend just a couple of minutes while everybody's coming in and getting comfortable to go over a few announcements. There is a free, that's my favorite price, free goal setting workshop hosted by the one and only Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary. It's December 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time on Zoom. You can register at the link that was just put in the chat, and you will also receive, once you register, your free PDF workbook and a chance to win Wendy Diem's 2025 Notary Planner. If you've not seen this thing,
ugh.
it is an intense planner, and it'll be a great way to help stave off that overwhelm that happens to us business owners during the year. So go ahead and get registered for that again, December 14th. So in just a couple of days. There's another event happening. This one is not free, but let me explain why. It's $59, and because it's hosted for California notaries by two of the premier California notaries, Laura Biewer and Matt Miller, from on Saturday, January 4th, so right after the new year, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. They're going to be discussing the new laws that are coming in California. This is a remote online notarization centered conversation and the laws surrounding that. So, California notaries, get registered. It's $59 and worth every penny to get that expert advice so you are ready when your laws take effect.
Hey, Jen,
Yeah,
I'd just like to explain a little bit because some
sure.
California notaries are like, hey, that's happening in 2030. What's the rush?
Mm.
There's a law change that's happening in this year in 2025. And beyond that, there are things already happening with Ron in the state of California for California-based signers, meaning residents or visitors who are using out-of-state RON providers like out-of-state notaries. And not all platforms are the same, and not all platforms are qualified to serve the state of California. There are requirements and there are penalties. And it's really important for people to know that. And of course, the upside of that is, well, how do I help somebody use an out-of-state notary if it's somebody out of the country, somebody that I can't serve? How do I do that and get a piece of the pie? Because that's happening with notaries. So those three topics right there are right now. The other topic, which is Ron is coming, we already know the law. It's already passed, even though it's not implemented. And there are 5 big impacts to your commission that you should know about because you need to plan for that and decide, is that going to be part of your business? So anyways, I just want to make sure everybody knew there is stuff for right now today happening.
Yeah. I love that you guys are doing this to help California notaries kick off that first year to being very well informed. And let's see who has some questions for us today. That's it for our announcements right now. Who has a question to kick us off today? Quiet again. Terry Joe, did you have a question for us? I saw you were asking how to raise your hand in the chat.
Yes, I was. Well,
Well,
I'm
tell
new
us
to
where
you
you're
guys.
calling from first. What state are you in?
I'm calling from Tampa, Florida area,
Great.
and I'm new to you all. I graduated
Welcome.
your trust delivery agents training. I've been a
Oh,
signing agent for about a year, and
awesome.
that's pretty much all I've done. I've been trained, I got my certificate for Ron and such, but I'm having a difficult time figuring out which Ron platform to use.
Uh,
Being in Florida, we have all types of, there's not a lot of restrictions here, apparently, from what I'm seeing compared to other states.
yeah.
But there are so many platforms, and I'm kind of stuck between the blue, what's it called, Blue Notary and Cyberize.
Okay.
And
So I'll tell
well,
you, Terry Joe, I am no longer Ron certified. I live in Texas, and it's just not I just never had it come across my desk, to be quite honest with you. However, I know that Florida is rocking and rolling with these online notarizations, and I love seeing it. So I am really not the best person to ask. And we kind of, and I know Laura does recommend Cyberize it. We get this question frequently on this call, and it's a great question, but this is kind of where we tend to lean into our regulars that are already Ron certified because Laura's in California. It's not legal there yet. And like I said, I'm not using it. So I would love for our notaries all over the country, you don't have to be in Florida. If you have a preferred online Ron platform that you use, Cyberize it, Blue Notary, One Notary, Notarize. Oh my
there's
gosh,
so many of them.
so many. And really the secret, Terry Joe, is it's not finding if you let me just finish my thought first. If you guys could put your recommendations in the chat for Terry Joe, I can't talk today. In the chat for Terry Joe, I would appreciate it so she can see what's working for you. And then Terry Joe, I want you to go and check each of those out and find the thing that's gonna make you feel the most comfortable, right? The one that you feel is going to work best for your vision of your business. Laura, do you have
Mhm.
anything to add?
No, if people would put in the chat not only the name but why they think it's good. Like I saw, I think it's Denisa. Uh, let's see, or it could be Danica. Um, that she's a Florida notary and she found Blue Notary. Some of the platforms charge by the session, some of the platforms charge by the stamp, some of the platforms have a monthly fee.
Right.
Blue is one that does not have that. One Notary, I think, is another one that is pretty reasonable. Thank you, Danica. Um, so you have to look at how they charge because everybody is charging differently. And some of those fees may not matter, like a monthly fee if you do a lot of volume. But if you don't, then that's not something you want. You're going to want something like Blue Notary where they don't charge you by the month, they charge you by the job. So it is research on your part to determine what's going to fit your business.
Right. Yeah, thank you. I've been doing a lot of it. I have one more question, if you don't
Sure.
mind. It has to do with the training on the trust delivery agent. You talk a lot about, seen you using a program called Tom, and that's being discontinued.
Mhm.
Was that, I'm trying to remember, was that the program for like you put all your clients in your calendar? What are you
Yeah,
using instead of?
yeah, it was it acted like a CRM for prospecting, Tom did. And yes, it's going away. I Personally, I use my website, Wix, as my CRM, but you, Terry, are my audience, not my community,
Right.
right? So, if anybody would like to also share who they are using for their CRM, one of the ones I use for my digital business card, Terry Joe, is Hi Hello. HIHELLO, and they have a free version. And it also offers you a digital business card. There's HubSpot that offers a free CRM. In fact, just like with my recommendation for online notarization, I recommend you get on Google and just type in, start with free, free
Yeah.
customer relationship manager, free CRM, and see what pops up. And here's what you need to make sure it can do. Your CRM should obviously contain all of your client and prospect information, name, address, phone number, email address, a space for notes, maybe even birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. And that needs to give you the ability to send an email campaign through it. So that
Okay.
because one of the things that becomes very important as you're out marketing is you have to follow up. There is no point in pounding the pavement and going out and meeting new people if you're not following up with them. And
Right.
so you want to be able to do that maybe in one email once a month, what I call like a monthly shout out, to just
Mm-hmm.
tickle your contacts, once a month. Just remind them, hey, I'm still out here. I'm still ready to serve and help your business. Contact me if you need a notary.
Right, and mine is more of getting out those first emails out to all the, we have 377 local estate planning attorneys here.
I saw your
So,
comment on CNTDA that you had counted. And
and
can I just tell you what I thought about that, Terry Joe?
yes,
You said we have 377 estate plan. This is a comment she made on the CNTDA program. We have 377 estate planning attorneys. I'm so excited to reach out to all of them. And it really showed me your perspective and your positive mindset because we've gotten feedback from other people who've been like, oh, there's only 377. I'm never going to make any inroads with all these people. So it's all perspective, right?
it
And
is.
I love your positive
Yeah,
take on that. So,
you can choose to be negative, you can choose to be positive, and for my life, positivity
yes,
and
ma'am.
the mindset of you got to do this. I'm in a place in my life that I am no longer physically able to do the work I was doing, which was property management, association management. I could no longer walk up and down stairs and do all of that
Mhm.
um, because of my leg. So this is a new career for me.
Yeah.
And the loan signing agent was, we are, I don't know, thousands of notaries in this area. I mean, it's just there's so many loan signing agents, I just wasn't getting the business I needed to get.
Mhm.
And then I accidentally came across your site. I'm like, oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad you
So
did. I'm so
I
glad you
jumped
did.
in and
Laura and I, of course, are very proud of that
I'm
training.
excited to grow with you all.
Well, we are excited to have you grow with us. So, welcome. Thanks for coming to the call, and we look forward to seeing you back here every week.
And my background, if you guys are wondering, that's the cranes. They're a state protected bird and they are all over the place. I'm just driving up to a road. This is what I took from my picture, my car,
Oh,
those
you're
three
great.
cranes.
I love it. I love it. Laura, did you have anything to add about
Yeah,
it?
I just wanted to say that when she started out, she said it was a CNTDA question, but Tom is not a CNTDA product. And so I
Hmm.
don't want anybody to think that we've taken something away from that program. That program has all its parts, all intact. We're still teaching it. Nothing's changed there. And Tom is a notary coach product that Bill has decided to discontinue.
Yeah,
Well, this is what's confusing is I don't want to rewrite the wheel. And I tend to start getting into things detail for detail, then I get overwhelmed and then I freeze.
sure.
And so
Very
finding the
common.
CRM manager, I'm going to do the Wix website. Um, I need to get my tools set up in place because I'm going out to attorneys. I don't have the referrals, the resources that Bill was saying we needed to have. What do you have to offer these attorneys? And how are you going to, you know,
But you don't need
be part of my
referrals.
resource.
Terry Joe, we're not saying you need referrals when you go out to attorneys. We're saying you're interviewing attorneys to see if they might be resources for your clients who need a referral.
Mhm.
I was interpreting it that I needed to be able to give something to the attorneys. Why should
Yeah,
they choose me? And I
right, but
needed to
that's not
have,
a referral.
that's not a referral. I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't know.
I'm a little so Terry Joe, let me just ask this question. Are you concerned that you don't have something to offer an estate planning attorney? Like, why would they choose you?
Right, when you're talking to somebody cold talk, you're talking to
Mhm.
someone. Luckily, I do personally know one estate attorney, and so I'm gonna work, and I know him, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna work with him on this. And he's still a young attorney, works out of his home,
awesome,
but that's
perfect.
what he does is estate planning and personal injury.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be able to work with him to help out. But having resources in your back pocket, and I don't remember the exact words, I'd have to go back when I wrote down on my notes from the training, but you need to be able to compile a list of community resources and,
Mhm.
what do I have to offer you? Well, I'm working with people who often they're buying homes, loan signing, and now they need to get their estates in order. That's really
Yes,
how I'm
that's
coming
one.
from it.
That's one thing that you have to offer them. The other thing, let's not forget the big glaring thing, is your continued
Yes.
education in that field and your certification as, a certified notary trust delivery agent, specifically trained in those documents versus a notary who's handling everything, right? So that is an appealing, that piece of education is extremely appealing to attorneys. They love certifications. They love to know that you've gone the extra mile, and have taken on this training, and you're not just kind of winging it. That you fully understand the importance of what it is that you are doing, and that's what your certificate. That's what that
Yeah.
certification is for. Is to relay that. That is absolutely something that you are offering. And the other thing that you're talking about is a referral list of places in Tampa that you love, that you would recommend to people. And that should also include estate planning attorneys. So when you are at a closing or you are at any kind of notary appointment, you have the opportunity to cross sell. And once you start doing that, Terry Joe, people are going to ask you, well, then can you recommend an attorney for me? And that's why you want to get out there and start meeting these attorneys so that you can get to know them, find the people that, get to know what their, um, how they feel about their business. What are they looking for? And if it's somebody that aligns with you, you would be able to then refer that business over. So you are looking for, if people ask me for an estate planning attorney, I need to be able to give them something solid. I'd love to get to know you better to see if you're that attorney. Does that help clear it up a little bit?
Yes, I actually liked how you said that because that was those key words. And
Yeah.
I'm writing that. I want to write those words down exactly as you just said again
Great. Well, and hey, the replay will be posted
that's
later
how
today,
I
so
want
you
to
can
get.
watch it there too.
Oh, what is there tonight?
There's a
Replay.
replay that we post on YouTube, um,
Oh,
that you'll
of
get.
this.
Jen Cooper, can you put that link in the Marketing for Notaries replay link for YouTube in there, so you can go check out, and get that quote exactly? Because if you asked me to repeat what I said, I could not tell you word for word.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great questions, great conversation. I appreciate that. Laura, did you want to add anything really quick?
Well, I just want to get clarification on the link you're asking Jen to put in the chat.
For watching the TNT replay.
But that's the notary coach link, right?
The
Still.
you can catch the replay on Bill's YouTube channel. You can also now catch it on mine as
Okay.
well. Yeah, and
All
starting
right.
in January, you're going to be able to see it on Laura's as well. So, all right. Danica, hi, what is your question for us today?
Hi there.
Hi.
My question is kind of along the same lines as Terry Joe, only I am just starting out. I've only done two signings, so I'm trying to figure out marketing. I tried my hand at marketing last week. Fell flat on my face.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
proud of
That,
myself because I actually got out there. So
What'd
yay.
you do? What'd you do for marketing?
I just went and showed up at a few dealerships because they're, dime a dozen here in Orlando area, Florida. So I just showed up at a few dealerships and I got there and choked. I didn't know what to say. And I'm
Nerve-wracking, isn't it?
feeling the same way as she is. Like, I'm so new. What makes them want to work with me versus somebody that's been doing this for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of struggling with all of that.
Great questions. And I don't know about you, Laura, but I felt the same way the first time I went out marketing. I fell flat on my face. I was doubting myself, wondering why would they choose me over somebody more experienced. So before I give my answer, do you have anything to offer, Danica, about marketing?
No, because I think you're going to cover it. No, no need to say it twice.
She knows. Laura probably knows word for word what I'm going to say. So, Danica, I want you to go check out Marketing for Notaries, and Jen Cooper's going to put that link in the chat for you or anybody who's new who is looking for a framework for marketing. If you are not marketing your business, no one else is going to do it for you. And there's two avenues that will give you the best returns, Danica, and everybody else. That is your online presence and building relationships.
Okay.
You let me be very clear. A lot of people go, oh, well, instead of going out and meeting people because I fell flat on my face the first time I tried it and I was embarrassed and all of those things, and it was so much energy, they think to themselves, well, hey, I'll just focus online, right? And I'll get build relationships online. It takes 20 times more effort to build relationships online than in person. So it's very important because we are all owners of service-based businesses, meaning we go in people's homes. We see their most important financial information. It is important that they trust us, and that doesn't necessarily happen digitally. So getting in there, I'm so proud of you for going out there and doing it and even being able to come on this call. I wouldn't have had the bravery to come on this call a week later and say I fell flat on my face. I was probably still in bed, curled up in a ball, sucking my thumb, going, "Oh my God, what have I just done?" So I know you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you're very courageous for coming on and bringing this up because this is something that so many people suffer with. You have to have a framework, you have to have a plan to follow. And that's what Marketing for Notaries teaches you, including in part two of step one. We talk we talk a lot about that fear and that resistance that every single one of us experiences when we start off marketing and ways to push through that. I'm a big believer that once you understand where something comes from, then you are able to better navigate it. So I spend over an hour talking about even though you think you're an introvert, you might not be. And just because you might be an introvert doesn't mean you can't build a successful business. I myself am an introvert. Nobody believes me. But that's usually because people think introvert means shyness, and it doesn't. They're two separate things. And introversion or extroversion is how you recharge your energy. It has nothing to do with you being shy. So whether you're an introvert or you're shy, I'm still going to give you the tools you need to build a framework that you can take with you and apply it to every specialty under the notary umbrella. It works for every specialty. I'm telling you about Marketing for Notaries now, you guys, because up until December 31st, and I'm never going to do this again because it's ridiculous what I'm doing. But right now, if you join, you can join for $25 a month if you want. Great. That's what the price is going to be for the foreseeable future. Or you can join annually for $124. This is getting 7 months for free. And I know you did, Candy. I was so excited that you joined. There's several of you guys on here that have, and I'm thrilled about it because we're I mean, my time just got majorly freed up. So I am ready to get in here and make a difference with marketing in this business and in this industry and really help people push past that fear and resistance. Yeah, Michelle, you did too. Rochelle did. So there's several of you on this call, and I'm so grateful to each of you. And I hope that I'm able to help you move past those things. So go check it out, Danica. Sorry, I'm going to try and every time I see your name, I think of
Oh, that
a
was
race car
me.
driver. Yeah, I know everybody does that. But go check it out because having a framework is going to help you. It's not going to keep you from feeling embarrassed, but you're going to learn how to process that embarrassment and learn from it and move through it. It's not going to stop you from feeling like, I don't really want to do this, but it is going to help you to get to the place where you're like, I know I need to, and now I have the tools to do it better. And it also helps with sustaining your business. And I think that's the important point with marketing with a framework like the 5 point marketing system that we offer. Having that gives you the ability to sustain your business. You don't want to just go out and get a bunch of customers and then do nothing with them and they end up going somewhere else because you're not doing the follow-up, you're not taking the steps to stay in touch with them. So check that out. It's gamified learning now. We've moved over to the school platform and it's really cool because we offer prizes and all kinds of stuff just for learning. So go check it out and see what you think. And if you're curious, you guys, what those 5 points are, I'm happy to tell you. Get your pencils out. The first one is called the first step is called a pop-in, and that's direct marketing. Yes, that's doing that terrible thing where you walk in an office and you don't know anybody and you say, "Hi, I'm Jen. Nice to meet you." The second part of that phase one is learning about fear and resistance. Step two is following up after a pop in. Step three is a monthly shout out so that you don't have to get out there and do in person marketing all the time. I don't want to teach you how to be an in person marketer. I want to teach you how to be a business owner that is in charge of their own marketing. Because, Danica, if you go out and hire somebody to do it, it's going to cost you a minimum. And this is even without social media. It's going to cost you $5,000 a month to hire somebody to do it. And if you want somebody to do it fully, it's going to cost a minimum of 10. It ain't cheap. I'm assuming you don't have those funds. So we've got the follow-up. Step four is social media. And step five is how to properly network. Because even though I'm sending you out the door and you're knocking on people's doors to introduce yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you, you also have to get out there and network. It's a super powerful way to incorporate marketing. Does that help? Awesome. Thanks for bringing up the question. Anything to add, Laura? Just asking. Ditto. All right, guys. Asia, how you doing?
Hi. Hey.
What you got for us today?
Okay, so when you guys get calls from like Google off your Google business page and people are like, "Hey, I need something notarized." I guess my question is, how should I go in depth of figuring out what they need notarized? So what happened was someone said, "Oh, I need a page notarized." But when I got there, it was a whole loan packet that needed multiple notarizations. And even when I asked them, how many stamps do you need? How many times do you need me to notarize your document? They said, oh, I haven't opened the package up. So I guess my question is like, how do I kind of ask those questions before I get to the appointment so that I can properly price them? I know Laura said things like, based off what you're telling me, the price is X, Y, and Z. I tend to forget that part because I'm just saying, oh, this is the price. And then I get there and it's like, wait a minute, I would have definitely charged more for this. But I guess I'm not asking those questions up front to understand what they actually need.
So Jen Cooper just posted a link to the Notary Allies intake form, and I want you to go take a look at that, Asia, because it's so thorough. But I'm going to let Laura start answering on this one. Laura, what do you have to say?
Well, I think you answered your own question when you presented it, which is you need to ask the questions. So what are the questions you're asking? Are there, how many signers need notarization? How many different documents are there? Oh, I don't know. It's in an envelope. I haven't opened up. Well, open it up, because I need to know in order to quote for you what the workload looks like. If I need book an hour at your table or 10 minutes at your table. And if they start naming a document or documents and you have no clue what those are, you could always ask, is it possible to text me just the signature page where the notarization is, so I can see what I'm going to be handling when I get there? These are all basic questions you need to know so that you're not figuring it out at the moment when you're there at the table. I
Right.
do think an intake form is a good idea, especially when you're new and you can't think of all the questions off the top of your head. People describe things incorrectly. People don't understand. I just did an appointment before this meeting for one notarization. I said, okay, I see the acknowledgement. Where's the document? Because there's a package of documents sitting there. Which one does that go to? Oh, it's just for all of them. Well, no, that's not how it works. I don't fill out an acknowledgement and stick it with the package. You need to tell me which document this is going to belong to. So then they had to call the car dealership, who said, yeah, you just stick it in the package. I said, well, no, that's not how it works. You'll need to pick one and decide which one it's gonna go with. And in the end, what we did is decided the guy was gonna have to write a statement that said he signed all the documents, sign that statement, and then the certificate would go with that statement only, not for all those documents. So these are, when I got the call, he said, I just have one document to be notarized, because he saw one notary certificate. So see, he didn't know how to describe what he had for me. When I got there, I did only one notarization. It just took a little time to figure out how that was going to work out. But some of it is just experience, Asia.
Yeah.
Trying to interpret what people say
Yeah.
into what kind of document does that sound like? What is the and so you can ask questions. What is the document going to do? Who's going to get that document? What are you in the middle of that you needed this document? Sometimes those questions can help identify what it is they've got in front of them. But
Right.
it does take asking a lot of questions. You might
Okay.
sound nosy. You're not being nosy. You're just
Yeah.
trying to identify what the workload is going to be. And when it's a document I've never heard of before, and there's not many for me, but they do come up, I say, can you text me a picture of that signature page with the notarization so I can have an idea?
Okay. Let me ask you this one more question, because I tried to slow it down the next time I got a call. After I had that experience, I said, let me slow it down and ask more detailed questions. And the guy on the phone was like, I just want to know what your fee is. And so it was kind of like, I need to know certain information to quote you a fee. Is there the first question you would ask, what type of document it is? Or is the first question you would ask, how many times you need me to notarize your document?
My first question is to find out if he even needs my service, which means, are you needing mobile service or are you going to a notary office? What's your plan? Do you need me to come to you, or are you planning to go somewhere? Because sometimes, even though your business says mobile notary, then they're not paying attention. So that's when they're just calling around pricing.
Yeah.
Of course, almost every state, there's just a price, right, for the notarization part.
Right.
But that's really not my service. That's part of what I do. My service is access. My service is mobile. So I need to know, are you my kind of customer? If somebody says, look, I don't want to know anything but the price, then he's not my customer. And I can say, look, it's $15 for any notary if you go to them.
Mm.
Okay, great. Where are you? I'm a mobile notary. I'm not that kind of notary. Now, whoa, what would you charge to come to me? Now I can start to have a conversation. Depends on how far you live from me, right? But if somebody is very insistent to just get to the price and they won't let you ask the questions, then I tell them, hey, in California, you cannot pay more than $15 for one signature on one document for any notary you call. So you don't need to call 15 more times. You've got your answer there. If you need additional service, such as mobile service, hey, let's talk about that. And if you have more than one document, it's for every single signature for every document you present. So yeah, I'll answer them directly if that's what they're going after and they won't let me ask other questions to assess.
Okay.
And I think it's a good idea, guys. Don't spend 20 minutes telling them all about all the documents and then they want to go to your office because
Yeah.
then they're not your customer.
Find out if they want that mobile service. And Asia, I also want to add something really quick, and that's renegotiating at the table. Because this has happened, I'm sure, to a lot of us, myself included. I'm sure, Laura, it's happened to you in your 21 years of being a notary in California, where you get to the table and somebody's like, you thought it was just going to be one stamp, one signature, bada bing, bada boom, out the door. And then, oh my God, you open it and it's a whole loan. You said it was a loan package? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, I would make it a practice to kind of renegotiate a little bit and just say, per our conversation, you talked about this being one notarization and you wanted mobile service, and it is $15 in the state of California for this. However, this is an entire loan package and has more than one notarization that is required. My new quote based on this package and the time it takes to move through it is now this. You know, are you okay with moving forward? If you feel comfortable. And I know that's sort of a skill that you may not employ if you're brand new, but as your experience grows, you learn to ask better questions and you learn how to maybe renegotiate a little bit because you don't want to always be walking away from the table disappointed. You probably spent 45 minutes to an hour during that loan package and expected to spend 15 minutes. It may have thrown off your whole day. And, so there is a way to professionally renegotiate at the table if it's necessary.
And I just wrote a blog, 2 blog articles. The first one was for questions to ask before you say yes to the job. And the second blog is what to ask the signers when you arrive, or actually when you confirm the call, if it is a specialty notary job. And if you haven't read those might be helpful.
I have them starred. I will read them.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Asia.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Suzanne, hi. Tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi, ladies. Laura, it's been a while. Yes,
It's
it's
been a long
me.
time.
Too long. I am from California and I actually don't have a question. I wanted to, if it's okay, add to the conversation. And
Sure.
so one of the areas, and I'm a seasoned notary. I've been doing this for 10 years plus. And my biggest challenge, even with all of my networking skills and my connections in the community, is follow-up. And so what I use for my CRM, because all of the other platforms out there are just way too overwhelming. They integrate too much with my email. They're adding more emails to my email. So I would start them and then I would discontinue them. The one that I have found that is not as overwhelming is a CRM that's called Less Annoying CRM. And if it's okay with you ladies,
Say it again, Suzanne.
If it's okay, I'll drop the link in the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
They offer a referral fee. So just so you know, I will get a referral if anybody signs up. But it's called Less Annoying CRM.
Sorry about that.
Lessannoyingcrm.com.
Yes. And so I just dropped my referral link in there because if you refer someone, I think they give you 1 month credit. And if you use that link, you'll get a 30-day free trial. And what's nice about it with the free trial is you do not have to give them your credit card up front. You could try it out for 30 days.
Cool.
See if you like the features. And then if you like it, give them your credit card. And they don't nickel and dime you. It's a flat $15 a month. There's no annual option. It's just $15 a month.
Great.
The downside with it is that it does not integrate with a lot of things. So if you're looking for integration, it's not the one you want to use. But if you want it to just be simple, less annoying CRM is great.
Thank you for sharing that, Suzanne. And I just want to clarify, Suzanne has been a mobile notary in California for over 10 years, and she knows what she's talking about. This product, though, Less Annoying CRM, is not something that Laura and I have checked out or that we endorse. This is coming straight from Suzanne, and it is an affiliate link from her. So I just wanted to clarify that with everybody.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing that, Suzanne.
Absolutely. Good
That's
luck,
the
everyone.
power of this call, you guys, is
Yes.
learning from not just Laura and myself, but all the other notaries that have been doing this for a while. Thank you. And Kareen in Florida. We've got the Florida gang on the call today. Hi, Kareen. How are you?
Hi, Jen. I'm doing great, thank you. So I am first I must say thank you for your training. I put it into work. I went to my local chamber of commerce at first. Yes, it was nerve-wracking.
Hmm.
I did what you did, a part of what you said you did, that you sit in your car and I watch everyone coming in and I was there thinking, do I go in? Do I don't?
Hmm.
And I called my friend in Carolina and she's like, listen, get out, you need to put your coach, we work into perspective, get out of that car and get in there and just be you. She was like, I'm gonna be on the phone with you for like a minute because you had your Bluetooth in, so I can calm you. However, when I get in, I did not really need her anymore because my the Chamber of Commerce director was in there, so she started introducing me to everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Karine. She's a prospective, and the ice just break right there. And surprisingly, the introvert become an extrovert. And I was just free flowing with everyone. But the good thing now is that the question I want to ask, a lot of persons there, they in our community, we do not have a lot of mobile or notary. So two of the bank director and manager was there. They want me to come and meet with them,
Wonderful.
to do business with them. One of the hospital social worker was there. She want me to come and meet with her.
Wonderful.
And a real estate manager was there. On that end, I am a little shy to go in. However, how do I go from here? Do I just do the pop-in like what you taught me to do and go and meet with them? Because I should have been there from yesterday, especially to one of the banks, but I haven't been there as yet. So where do I go from here? Because they all want to meet with me.
I would call them up. I would have a phone conversation and I would say, I would love to meet you. What they want from you is called a one-on-one. And this is very common when new folks attend a chamber meeting. And Kareen, one of the reasons, as you now have learned, that I recommend so strongly that people join their local chambers of commerce is because of what happened to you. The directors, the ambassadors are usually so good about introducing you around so you don't feel like a wallflower, that
Yeah.
the majority of them are so good at that. So I would just follow up with them and say, hey, we met. You expressed some interest in meeting. Here are some days I have available. I would love to get together with you for a coffee or whatever it is, lunch, and talk about how we can help each other grow our businesses. And that's the point of a one-on-one, is how you can help each other grow your businesses. And it would also, Kareen, be a really good opportunity for you to ask them some more detailed questions about that specific chamber to find out if membership really is something for you in that, because I know you were looking at a couple of different ones in your area. Most chambers of commerce will allow you to come to up to, 2 or 3 events before you
Yes,
join so
yes,
that you can
yes,
get a
she
feel
did.
for it. But check with your local chamber of commerce, everybody on the call, so that you can determine what your specific chamber allows. And if you are not a member, I encourage you to please get out there and do that. So that's all they're wanting is just to meet with you, have a coffee, and just spend maybe a half hour to an hour talking about how you can help them and how they can help you.
Okay, yes, because one of the manager from the bank, she
Mhm.
was listing that they want a notary to do because they are limited on what they notarize.
Mhm.
And she's like, yes, you are a good asset for us. And most of all the places, the local business that managers that was there, I am literally 15 to 20 minutes from all of those areas
That's
that
wonderful.
need
So yeah.
me, but like I said, I'm still a little shy to go and meet with them. So I'm gonna get on it.
It's Kareen is, you guys, one of my coaching clients, and so we've been working on her plan to get her business known. And this is that next natural step, Kareen, is to start meeting people individually. And you're doing this on your own. I'm so proud of you for it.
Thank you.
Go have that coffee. Go make a connection, even if all you talk about is their business, because there's so much more power in listening than talking. Even
Yeah,
if all you're doing is listening to what their needs are, you're going to have a better idea of how you can help them and be able to follow up with them even after that. So even if you say, well, now that I have information about your business, I need to think of ways I can help you. You can follow up with an email. Let that one-on-one be just the beginning of your relationship together. You want to continually follow up with these folks every month to see how you can help with them in an email.
thank you.
Does
Because
that
even with
help?
Laura class, sorry, I did for the hospital, and I went to one of the hospital, and they're like, oh nice, we need a notary. We doesn't have a notary here. And some from time to time persons come in and ask for a notary. And I went back to one of Laura's video to watch because I'm like, what if I got a call? I need to know what to do, how to
Yep.
go, the questions to ask. So I was watching it, and my daughter was like, wow, mommy, I'm proud of you. You're on this. You're really on it for 2025. I said, I'm trying. I gotta make my coach proud of me.
Well, I'm very proud of you, Kareen, and Laura's medical training. Actually, every piece of training that she has in LBP, Laura Biewer Presents, is gold. So I'm glad that you
Yes,
had a chance to access that. Thank you, Kareen.
thank you.
Thanks. I'll talk to you after the holidays. Laura, speaking of LBP,
Mhm.
tell us, everybody on the call, how folks can connect with you outside of this free opportunity today.
So there are two other free opportunities. One is on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. And it's called Laura's Inner Circle. And you can sign up for that on coachmelora.com, and I'll send you the link. The other one is if you want a private strategy meeting, you can sign up through Calendly and hit my calendar, and I'll book you for a 15-minute appointment, and it's just you and me. And you can bring me whatever question it is that you want to discuss. So those are the two ways you can reach out to me outside of TNT.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And you guys should be taking advantage of that. Um, my life has changed for so much, infinitely for the better, because of Laura's expertise and wisdom that she has shared with me over the years. So you should definitely be taking advantage of that. And her real world, or excuse me, her LBP, Laura, tell us about, just very quickly, because Kareen brought it up, Laura Biewer Presents. You talk about medical documents. What
Right,
else?
so there are about 11 or 12 different videos, each going an hour to 2 hours long, each on a different topic. So there's, for instance, if you want to do hospital work, one is you need to understand the environment, who to reach out to, what you can do to bring value. That is one video. Then there's another video on in-depth power of attorney and healthcare directives, which are the most common documents that you would come across in that setting. And then there's a separate video for last will and testament documents, which is the third most common document in a hospital setting. So you've got 3 different videos just for that particular topic. And then I have another one on jails, another one on apostille work, another one on international adoption, and the list goes on.
Yeah. And John Enrique in California, you are right. The videos are gold. If you guys don't have access to LBP, I strongly encourage you to go check it out. The link is in the chat. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Rachel, thank you for waiting. Rachel is in Orange County, California. What is your question for us today?
So my question was sort of spurred on by Asia's comment where she showed up and it was a whole loan signing package. And one thing that I don't recall, because thinking, well, what if it happened to me? Is the loan signing training in California or other states required to notarize loan documents? I currently do not have a loan certification. So what would that mean for someone like myself?
So that training is national, not state specific. It is not a requirement to hold a certification. You could, if you were asked inadvertently to notarize a package of loan signing documents, you could legally do that. The downside to not having that certification is you're not competitive with other notaries who do to get the work. So it would really be just somebody accidentally asked you. And then the other thing is that there was not any kind of instruction in that package that said you were required to have one, or at least the background screen, before you did the work. So if I didn't have one and somebody asked me to, I'd say, are there instructions or restrictions about that notary? If there are none, go to town. But if there are, and most of them do, you're going to find that it would be very unusual for that situation to take place. I do get them. They're called mailaways. And what they are is they send them, they just mail them off to the package, to the signer. And there's a sheet on top that says, you know, you need a notary and notary cannot be related to you and notary has to have this or that or the other thing. Go find one. And so that's how that happens.
Okay, so there's
accidentally.
nothing illegal if I was to proceed
No.
with that. Okay,
No,
that was
there's
mostly my
not. This
question,
is
was a
an
legal
industry.
thing. Okay.
This is an industry standard, not a government requirement.
Great question, though. Great question, though. I appreciate that. You guys have brought some amazing questions
Yeah.
today, Laura. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
Hands are going up. We're asking questions. I love it. All right, we've got just a couple more minutes left in the call. So if anybody has any other last minute questions, please speak now or forever hold your peace. Miss Rose Farmer, what is your question for us?
Hi, Laura's package of the questionnaires. I knew most of them. There was a couple that refreshed my memory, but I had a client, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, call for power of attorneys, and I asked him how many copies he had. He said he had 3, and he asked me if I had a witness, and I said yes. And then when he came to the house, he came with 4 packages instead of 3 packages. And when I told him the price of $225, he kind of got up on my face and started yelling at me. And I said, well, you told me there was 3. And I said, my husband was a witness for 5 of them. I said, I told you that at 3, it would be between $50 to $175, but because you brought another one, it was more. So he profusely got into my face, and I said, you know what? I just handed him the paperwork, and I said, I'll take the 150. I thank you and have a great day. And he went up the stairs, and then the daughter went up the stairs, and then his wife said, I'm sorry. And I never ran into that before, where somebody got that hostile with me, and my husband was listening in the garage, and I felt so infuriated because when we talked on the phone and then when he came in person, he was like a totally different person. Like I I said, would you like to go over your paperwork, sir? You know, make sure I did. He says, no, no, no. Yeah, I see you're very accurate and so on and so forth. But it was just like a slap in my face because I was like my husband said that he got the feeling like because I was a woman and that he felt belittled because I was a woman and he was doing business with me. But he knew I was a woman. So if he had an issue with me, he should have never came. So the daughter gave me a review and I sent her a text message. Thank you for using Rosa's signature notary. I greatly appreciate it. It was a pleasure to meet you. I said, I apologize for your father losing control. I said, but I did tell him a certain price and I don't want there to be, any issues or any problems. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I left it at that. She never replied. And I just put a big X on their name because I don't want them coming back to my house in my journals.
Well, yeah, I mean, sounds like he was threatening you. Of course you don't want him to come back. Laura, do you have
And
anything?
I can't sit there and I couldn't call. It's not like I could call the cops or this or that because it was a verbal. So for now on, what my text message is, if there's going to be another package like that, I'm going to text it. And then if they have an issue with it, then they can get somebody else. But also too, I'm going to also, when they come, I'm going to look over the paperwork and say, well, this is the price it's going to be. And if you're dissatisfied with the price, then you can go somewhere else. But this is my price.
Laura, do you have anything you want to add?
No, it can happen. You work for the public. They're fickle.
And
You know,
sometimes
And
not
he was
you're
from
knowing.
North
you
Jersey too. It's not like he didn't have the money. You know how the
it's
North
not
Jersey
about them
people can
having the
be.
money. That's not his issue.
Mhm.
So, the thousands of jobs I've done in over 20 years, I've had jerks. It happens.
It
And
happens.
usually I will say, you know what, fine. I will tell you that in truth, this is what you brought me, but this is what we talked about.
Yeah.
And I may just
I
let
did
them know
explain that
you
to him,
did.
and he just jumped in my
And that's
face.
it. And I won't do service for them again. I block them.
Exactly.
And
So I just
I
wanted you
think
guys to be aware that
I think
other notaries, it does happen.
Paula's comment, Rose, in the chat is
Yeah.
you do have the right to refuse someone's service if
Yeah.
they are making you uncomfortable, if they're threatening you.
And if they don't want to pay your fee.
Your safety is not worth 150,
Yeah.
250,
But the job was
350.
done. That was my only issue. The job was done, and he said, "Well, how much do I owe you?" And I said 225, and he said, "You told me over the phone." I said 150. I said no. I said it's going to be between 150 and
Right.
225, depending on the paperwork. I said I have to see all the paperwork. But then
So
he said it was only
Rose,
3 packs. Yes.
when you saw that there was more work, that's when you needed to speak up rather than telling him a bigger price at the end.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I
Please.
did tell him. I said there's more packet.
Before the work was done. Like once you
Yes.
got to the part where you're like, well, this is how much work he described, I still see more documents. That's when I would have brought it up and said, wait a minute, on the phone we discussed there was going to be 3 sets of documents, but I'm seeing some more documents here. Is this for later? Is this duplicates? What is this extra here? Oh no, I want that notarized too. Okay, great. I can do that for you. I have plenty of time. It will be an extra $75. Is that good? So I think just
Okay.
finding the moment before it's all said and done, and now you can't undo the work you did.
Right.
But Rose, and I agree with Laura, but I don't want you to think that it's your fault that this man got in your face. That is completely
Oh
inappropriate.
no, that's his.
Yeah, he should not have happened. Like it's not your fault. I mean, obviously this guy's a jerk. And was trying to get more for less
Yeah.
as people will.
Exactly.
But yeah, don't take that to mean that it's your fault that he got in your face. But Laura does make a good point. The moment you realize that the scope of the work is more than what you originally agreed on, that's the moment to renegotiate
Yeah.
in the future and chalk
Yes.
this up to as a very valuable lesson. And thank you for sharing that with all
Yeah.
of us, that very valuable lesson, because renegotiations do need to happen at the table sometimes if our customers are not clear on the job scope.
Yes, he had me very heated, but I said, you know what? It's not worth it because it's my business and it'll hurt my business. So I just said, just I'll take the 150 and you have a nice day. And I left it at that.
Exactly. Get out of my face and I never want to see you again is probably what I would have said. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
And
very welcome.
for everybody. And I'm really sorry that you had to experience that. And Paula, please come back next week with your question, guys. We got to hang up though. We are at the hour. Man, that went fast today, didn't it, Laura?
It did.
I
And by
said,
the way, if you have questions that aren't time sensitive, we do have a form that you could put them on so that we make sure we look at them at the next call.
yeah.
So that even if you're not on the call, we could still address it.
Yeah, right now, if you want to access that form, you can go to notarycoach.com/TNT. And at the top of the page, you'll see a questionnaire. So you can submit your questions directly to us. So that's kind of a way to put a pin in it so you don't forget. And we know some of you feel intimidated by coming on and sharing thoughts and questions live. That's a way to do that as well. But for today, thank you guys so much for spending this amazing hour with us. Laura and Laura looks forward to seeing you next week when she will be joined by Matt Miller as her co-host. My son is graduating college, so I'm going to go celebrate that. Yay, another one off the payroll. So I won't see you guys until the new year because as you will learn next week, we're going to be dark the last 2 weeks of December, right, Laura?
Yeah.
And there's some exciting new news that's going to be announced next week on TNT. So make sure you are here next week when Laura and Matt make the big announcement. All right, guys. You know I love a teaser, Loretta. All right, guys. See you later. Have a fabulous week. Laura, close us out.
Have a productive week, guys. Go get it.